Welcome to ARVN Plays. In this episode, we'll be continuing with my playthrough of Fire in the Lake, where I'm playing the US and the Tru'ng are playing the other three factions. We have on this upcoming card, we have the NBA as the first eligible faction. They passed in the last episode, the last card, even though they did have an option on there to go first on this card. So bringing up this table here, I'll zoom in a little bit. They're the first eligible, and it says current event is critical and effective. Well, when I looked at it previously, it said it wasn't critical, so no. Next eligible could choose critical event. So next eligible on this, it says ARVN. Are the ARVN available? And the question is, well, the answer is yes, they are available. So is it next eligible could choose a critical event? So let's have a look. Bring up the table. Oh, no, it's card 44. For the ARVN, it's not a critical event either. Okay. So bring that back up. So neither of those two apply. First choice on upcoming critical event. Ooh. Well, they are first choice on that card as well. Let's see, 41. Card 41. Is that critical for them? No. Little dash there. Okay. So otherwise, they do an op plus special activity. Op plus special activity. Okay. And in it pops. That means I go to that 18 deck card. No. 18 card deck. And the first NBA card that comes available is NBA Q. Okay. Just as a reminder, these cards have got two sides on them. Start in the first blue box, follow the instructions in there. If I can follow them, go down the green, carry on, or if I can't, I go down this path, and so on. Okay, and this number here, if there's any time that I could end, I roll a dice, a 2 or a 1, so that number will be low. The activity will end. 3 or higher, it will continue. So 2d6 available NBA Guerrillas. Right, there are 8 available NBA Guerrillas. So let's roll dice. That's a 3. Is that less than available Guerrillas? It is. So next one down. 6 NBA troops in any space with coin troops or a coin base. No, because there's none of the troops being built. That's a definite cross. So the card will be flipped. Okay, which brings up on the flips, it's NBA QQ to show me that it's the reverse side. And they are rallying. So, place bases where 3 NBA Guerrillas. There's quite a few places with 3 NBA Guerrillas. And notice this again, it's in bold. When it's in bold, that tells me you must follow the instructions on the spaces card. Before we do that, though, let's just go through what the NBA are trying to do with the rally. Zoom a little bit in on that. Rally. Purpose: augment friendly forces and upgrade trail. Location: any provinces or cities without support. Cost: 1 resource per space. +2 to improve trail. Remembering with the NVA and the VC in this game, because we're playing with the bots, they don't track resources. Procedure: place 1 NVA guerrilla or replace 2 with an NVA base. If they have an NVA base, may instead place NVA guerrillas up to trail value plus NVA bases. Then if desired, may pay 2 resources to improve trail by 1 box. Okay, so going through that, they can place an NVA guerrilla in a space which has no support. So they could place them, build a guerrilla here, or here, or here. Even if it was a player, they might do so. But the bots have got specific instructions. May instead place NVA guerrillas up to trade value plus NVA base if they have a base. So they could build here. Trail value currently is 1, as denoted by this track here. So they could, in central Laos, there's 1 base plus a trail. So they could place 2 guerrillas in here. Again, if they so wished. And then if desired, may increase the trail by 1 box. So now following their restrictions on this, so it's place bases where there's 3 plus NVA guerrillas. And we follow this chart here, where it says place bases or tunnels. City or province with most NVA guerrillas. Well, each of them had 3 guerrillas, so they're all the same at the moment. Laos, Cambodia with coin control. There's no coin control in Laos or Cambodia. Most population. Each of those spaces currently outside South Vietnam, so they've got no population. City or province without a US base. None of them got a US base. City or province with the highest total adjacent population. It's probably our first denominator. Okay. So they've got to have 3 guerrillas. So they've all got 3 guerrillas. Let me zoom out again. Okay, there's 3 there, 3 there, 3 there. And there's 3 down here. But adjacent to the highest amount of population. So the parrot's beak, which comes all the way over here, is adjacent to 2, 4, 6 population. Southern Laos, adjacent to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 population. Northern Laos, 1, 2, 3. Well, it's not, and this is only adjacent to 2. So it's not going to be these 2. It's between Southern Laos and the parrot's beak. Follow on down, select at random. Okay. So 1, 2, 3 is the parrot's beak. It's not. It's Southern Laos. So place bases where 3 or more guerrillas. So to change, so going back on the actual rally activity, place 1 NVA guerrilla or replace 2, or replace 2 with an NVA base. So that's what it's saying it wants to do. It wants to replace these 2. So return to available. And I want to place another base. Boom. Which improves their victory score by 1. As they've done one of those activities on here, they roll a dice. 1 or 2, and it stops. 3, 4, 5, or 6, they continue. That is there showing them using resources. They carry on. We know where the next one's going to be because it's in the other place where we had that random selection. So remove 2, return to available. And they build a base down the bottom there. Again, see if they build any more. They do. So of the remaining 2 spaces, which is the next highest population, Central Laos was adjacent to 1, 2, 3, whereas North Vietnam is only adjacent to 2. So they will build here as well. They're built in 3 spaces. Going back on that card. They go on. So that is all 4 spaces they could rally. So they did all the bases. They can't do the select spaces using place guerrillas because it's already been done. And improve the trail for free. So the trail goes from 1 to 2. Sorry. All right. So that's the rally part done. Now we do select one special activity. Are there 3d6 available NVH? Well, there's 40. So even if I roll 18, we know there's going to be enough troops available. So they will infiltrate. First option they want to do is replace a VC base. Well, let's have a look into detail what infiltrate actually is. Zoom in a bit. Okay. Take over VC and add and upgrade NVA forces. Yes, remember these 2 are, though they're on technically the same side, they had different goals and ambitions. The NVA, North Vietnamese, did historically infiltrate and try and take over VC locations and troops and political areas. So accompanying op must be a rally or march. Well, we did a rally, so that's okay. Location 1 or 2 spaces with an NVA base or NVA is greater than VC. Well, the NVA haven't entered South Vietnam yet, so this is not going to apply. So they can't take over a VC base. But the procedure is if base, place NVA troops up to trail plus bases, and if desired, replace NVA guerrillas with troops. I know that this is a lot of wordage and we'll break it down. Or if NVA are greater than VC, opposition 1 level towards neutral or replace. Well, we know this is not happening. Or if NVA is greater than VC, can't be at the present moment. What it means is in the future, if there's a lot of NVA and VC in an area and there's more of them, they will try and take over NVC units, bases. But we're in this first part. So it's got to be in 1 or 2 spaces with NVA base. So going back on this card, it says place troops, leaving 2 NVA guerrillas. Okay, so place troops. So if base, place NVA troops up to trail, plus bases. And if desired, replace NVA guerrillas with troops. So first of all, we're placing troops. So where do we place troops? We look at this diagram again, place NVA troops. City or province with most NVA guerrillas. Okay, they've all got 1 guerrilla at the moment because they've all built bases. So no, most NVA bases, they've all got 2 bases, so they're all the same. There's no space for Laos or Cambodia with coin control. Trail is not, well, there's no dot there. City or province in South Vietnam without NVA control. In South Vietnam without, well, a lot of those, none of them have got NVA control. ARVN is a player, coin control. Most pop, none of them got population. City or province without US base. The restriction on placing troops is that it must be a place to place them. VC is a player, placement of VC base. Can't at the moment. City or province with the fewest non-NVA pieces. They've all got the same amount of pieces. City or province with the total adjacent population. So that one still applies. So it's going to be in those two spaces which had the 6 population, which we know it was southern Laos and the Parrot's Beak. So they will bring in troops equal to, in Infiltrate, if base, place NVA troops up to trail plus bases. Trail plus bases. So there's 2 bases, and the trail value has been improved to 2, so 4 troops are brought down here. So I can bring 4 troops. Oh, troops. Just separate those out a bit. There. And then the other option on there, and if desired, replace NVA guerrillas with troops. So, but they will only do that according to this if they've got to leave at least 2 NVA guerrillas. There's only 1 here, so they can't replace him with a troop. If there had been 4 guerrillas here, they could have replaced 2 of them to make more troops. In other words, they're up-arming their existing guerrillas. So there's 4 troops brought down the trail there, and 4 here. That's easier. Just drag them straight there. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that concludes, if we didn't have enough troops, we would have done the bombard instead. We did. So that ends their play. So end faction play. Boom. Let's zoom out a bit. Who's next up to play on the card? It's the ARVN. Okay. Let's see what they're going to do. So they're the second eligible. So active faction will be first eligible on upcoming. Well, they're not first eligible. So, no. Did the first eligible choose op and SA? They did. An event is performed or critical. So let's have a look about the event for them. Looking at the event card here, card 44 is not critical or performed for the ARVN. So they're not going to play the event. They're not interested. Would I have been interested for them? What is it? US free airlifts into 1 space with NVA pieces, then free sweeps and assaults there. That's quite a good card, but no. Will be first eligible on upcoming card. No, they're not. A second. First eligible chose op only, or first eligible chose op and SA. They did. So the ARVN are going to do a lim op. Okay. So we draw a card to see which lim op they choose. The first ARVN card that comes up in my deck is ARVN L. ARVN L. So NBA base or NBA control in any 2+ pop space. We know we've got no base or control in any area in South Vietnam at the moment, because all North Vietnam areas and Laos and Cambodia are all 0 pop. So the answer is no. Draw a new card. Okay, go. Next card that comes up is M. Okay, there we go. Does NVA control plus NVA bases equal 40 or higher? I don't think it does, but let's double check. Because they haven't got any control yet. So no, that's at 8. So going back on that, the answer is no. Draw another card. Gone through 2 of the cards. Next one is ARVN H. Okay, there we go. Are there 5 ARVN troops and rangers in any one space? I think we had that last time at one point. ARVN troops and rangers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 troops in there. So the answer is, to that question, 5 plus ARVN troops plus rangers in any one space. The answer is yes. Select one special activity, transport using move priorities. Ooh. ARVN lim op. I'm looking at card H, which mentions select a special activity. You don't get a special activity with a lim op. So, about that then. Would an ARVN assault would add coin control or unblock the line of communication between Can Tho and Hoi? Is there a place where we can do an ARVN assault where there are exposed guerrillas? Doesn't look like it. And we can only do this in one space. So the answer to that question is no. So we turn the card over. H. Are 3d6 ARVN pieces available? Well, currently there are 6. Roll 3d6. I can't, so I'll just roll 7, 8, 9. And there are only 6 ARVN pieces available. So the answer to that question is no. Assault in spaces using remove. Well, where can they assault? If they can't do any activities on the card, which it looks like they can't, we draw another card. So next card is G. So card G. All right, here we go. So 3d6 ARVN pieces available. Let's make that roll. We'll just roll 8 on 2 dice, and the answer is no. Draw a new card. Oh dear. Right, well, next card up is J. So where's J? There we go. All right. Any two population spaces with support where ARVN cubes exceed US cubes. Any two yes, there are. To start, we know we've got Hoi is a two population space. Any other ones? No. Can't see. Oh, Saigon. There's a two population. Any two pop, that's a 6 pop. Okay, so there is a 2 pop space. And even this one has got 2 ARVN pieces. ARVN cubes, that's not an ARVN cube. Okay, so it just looks like Hoi. Do we have 3d6 available ARVN pieces? I better roll that again. 3, 8, 9. Well, we only have 6, so the answer is, we're looking at this one. So yes here, no here. So we turn over the card. Okay, bring out card JJ. All line of communication routes from Canthau to Hoi blocked. I know none of them are blocked, but let's have a look. Where is Can? Well, there's Hoi, and there's Canthau. None of them are blocked, so just wasn't sure where the route went. So the answer is no there. So they're going to use sweep. Use move priorities. Booby traps, that is a card which hasn't been played yet, so I don't have to look at that one. So it's just use the sweep using move priorities. Well, it's the first time we've had move priorities. So here is space priorities. This is the move priorities table. Yes, it looks a little bit more complex, but effectively we've got Republic of Vietnam. What they'll do, first of all, we've got, now they can only have one destination on the sweep because this is a limit. So if we go on here to show you what an actual sweep is. So this is the option they're doing. Purpose, enter area, find enemy. So they're looking for Viet Cong. Location, any provinces or cities. Cost is 3 resources per space selected. Well, they're only going to be able to select one space. Procedure, move any ARVN troops, if desired, onto adjacent insurgent-free lines of communications, then into adjacent spaces. Then activate 1 enemy guerrilla per ARVN cube or ranger there, or in jungle, 1 for every 2. That effectively means that they can move from one space onto a line of communication and then any space adjacent to the end of that line of communication. So for example, we take one of these cubes here, it could go all the way along this line of communication here. And from there, it can go to any adjacent space. So it could go here, which is adjacent, here, here, or here. Okay. Or it could come up this route, along this route here, to that space there. And then again, it would be able to, anywhere adjacent to there, go here, here, or here. Bring that back. The sweep is limited to move any ARVN troops if desired onto adjacent insurgent free lines of communication. You can only go adjacent. then onto an adjacent space. So they can't go all the way up the road and carry on going. So it's along one adjacent line of communication and then any adjacent space from there. So the card told us to use move priority. So I've now got to go on here. Just zoom that in a little bit so you can see. All right. So I've got to select a destination, the space specified by current Tru'ng card. There was no space specified. Or if none, the non-player factions space. Selection priorities table. And not already selected as a destination. So it's telling me now to look at the space priorities table, which we know let's go back onto this table here. Zoom in a little bit. Okay. So once we look here, and I look under sweep or transport destinations. So the first bullet point, city or province in South Vietnam without coin control. So it wants me to sweep into a province without coin control. It's quite, well, are there that many provinces without coin control? Let's have a look. These are, so could be that one, that one, that one. So there's 4 in the lower region of the map. Let's move up. There's a lot of coin control here. Oh, there's still a marker there for some reason. Okay. Or here. Everywhere else is pretty much coin control. So we're on 6 provinces at the present moment. Most pop. Okay, so anything with a 1 can be discounted. So let's just delete that one, because these both got 2. That's got 2. That's got 2. Okay. Next criteria. Enemy base. So anyway, that doesn't have an enemy base. This one doesn't, so this is gone. So we're left with Tay Ninh, Bin Din, and Quang Tin. They've all got bases. 3 options. City or province with the fewest enemy pieces. Going for the easy option. Well, that's got 3, 4, 5, 6. That's got 3. That's got 6. So they're going to Bin Din. Can they get to Bin Din? Well, it depends where they're coming from, but that's where they want to do the sweep to. So let's delete that and delete that. Okay. So going back on this, doesn't like moving on to back to the move priorities. I've got to zoom in. I'm assuming you guys can't really see this. So select a destination, select an origin, the space with the most movable pieces within reach of the destination and not already selected as a destination. Okay. So to be able to get to Bin Din, they've got a few troops around. Even these ones here from Camera, they can come through to here and in. So, yeah. So select an origin space. So going back, that's a bit of a faff. An origin space, do they have, oops. Control destinations, government remove, okay. So where do you get to choose an origin space from? Well, it says the most movable pieces for a sweep. I'm going to need actual soldiers. Police can't go on a sweep. Any ARVN troops. So Guinan has got 2. Cameron has got 2. Anywhere else that can reach? Way too far. You can only get to Da Nang and then out, so no. So it's one of those 2 spaces. 50-50. 1, 2, 3. It's quite annoying. Okay, so that's the origin space. So following that through, we need to determine how do they take all of them or some of them. Select pieces to keep in origin. So this is again on this table. Select pieces to keep on origin. Keep sufficient pieces to change no control in South Vietnam. Keep all cubes in South Vietnam. Well, we're not leaving South Vietnam. Keep coin cubes equal to enemies in lines of communication. No. Keep 3 coin cubes in space with coin base. There's no coin base. Who's got no enemy? Keep coin firepower. No, we don't have to worry about keeping the coin firepower because there's no enemy in there at all. ARVN cubes greater than US cubes. Again, there's no US troops in there. All right, sweet. Keep US troops plus irregulars plus underground. Oh, no, sorry, there's no dots there. So select pieces to move to. All right, so get 1 active MP faction piece to destination. So move 1 piece into there. Okay. No use bases in destination. Next one. Use patrol to Saigon or non-player ARVN sweep patrol transferred. Get coin control. It wants me to get coin control there. So 2, I've gained coin control. Okay, because it's 1, 2, 3, 4 coin pieces to 3 PC. All right. Okay, so let's see. Line of communication, destination, and friendly pieces. We'll see what else they do. So line of communication, and it's not a line of communication. Going into coin control. All right. Or coin firepower is equal to or greater than the vulnerable enemies in destination. At the present moment, there's no vulnerable enemies. So the coin control is greater than the vulnerable enemies because there are none. So that's so go to step A. We've got coin control. So go back to A. All right, select destination. We can't select any further destinations. So we select an origin. We could move 2 more pieces into there, but there was no order to do so. There was nothing else telling us to do so. So that's it. The gain coin control, they're happy. And with those 2 in there, the sweep, they reveal those 2. So again, going back on the actual sweep instructions on here, move any ARVN troops if desired onto adjacent insurgent. We've done that. Then activate 1 enemy guerrilla per ARVN cube or ranger there, or in jungle 1 for every 2. Harder to find them in the jungle. So they've been located by that sweep. That also costs the ARVN 3 resources. I think I messed up there. Hold on, bring those back. Yes. they were on 15. I took it down to 12. When I was, this is actually my second take on this, and I had to reset it back because on my first take, I wasn't restricting myself on a lim op. So yeah, they've already paid for that. So that's correct. It's 12. Yeah, it is quite easy. I was planning on a special operations, doing the transport, sending more troops around the board and such forth. And then I suddenly realized, oops, this is a lim op. You can only have one destination. So I reset it all, but I missed the resources. So that will conclude their operation. So let's do end faction play, end card play, which resets the board there, and draw a card. Okay, I must admit that was quite tricky. I said I did make a mistake, which I corrected and did a retake on the ARVN turn. It is difficult at times to especially when you're recording something and playing the games. You keep the rules, and I'm learning these new rules for the bot expansion. So if this video appears a little bit jumpy, I do apologize beforehand. Other than that, if you do like what you're seeing and you enjoy, please subscribe, press that like button, press the little bell to remind you when the next episode comes up, and any comments, anything I might have missed rules-wise, anything you think could have done better, or if you do know this Tru'ng expansion and think I'm doing something wrong, again, everything will be much appreciated. So until the next time,